Hello everybody, welcome back to the Crizzy White channel. Today I am interviewing the Sendflowrs. I'm very excited to do this interview as he is my third favorite artist of all time.
Appreciate it.
So the first thing I want to start with is before music, like where you were at before you started. Are there any bands or artists that convinced you to start making music in the first place?
Yeah. So pretty much the whole like early 2010s pop punk scene kind of pushed me into trying to start a band with like friends at school and stuff like that. So like like the story so far, Neck Deep, even like post-hardcore bands
Neck
like
Deep's
Title
great.
Fight, Basement, anything from that scene. I was going to shows every weekend. All I wanted to do was frontman a band, pretty much. I can't play any instruments really. I can play a bit of guitar, a bit of keyboard, but nothing well enough. But that whole scene kind of pushed me into getting into bands and starting my own, which eventually kind of led me here, I guess. So that whole early 2010s scene, Man Overboard, fucking Citizen, all of those bands, I would credit them as like huge influences.
So James was the first collaboration that you had. How did you two meet?
Yeah, the first time I ever made it, like the first time I ever recorded my voice in a program and mixed it was on a song of his. My first time ever recording was a feature on his song. So, he was my best friend through high school. We didn't speak for years after high school ended, and he messaged me one day after about 4 years and just said, I've tried to make music, can you listen to this, tell me what you think, because he knew like I was into like the same kind of shit as him. I listened to it, it got me super excited. I got a bit carried away. I was like, bro, we can do this, we can make music, like X, Y, Z. So I messaged him and said, do you want to link up this weekend and skate and see if we can make some music? And we linked after like 4 or 5 years and just snapped back into it. I'm not sure if it's the right word, but like the chemistry between me and James was built long before either of us made music. So I feel like it comes across in the music. But yeah, he was my best friend through high school, and he's still a very, very, very close friend of mine now. So I'm very grateful to have James. Without him, I probably wouldn't have actually got off my arse and fucking made something. So
I know that you are a big like fan of community and like people getting along together, so it speaks volumes that the first time you ever got in the booth and like recorded something was with somebody that you were friends with. So I think that speaks volumes to your character.
Which helps. It helps having somebody with you that let's face it, is as rookie and as novice and as wide-eyed as you about the whole thing, and oh bro, imagine if we did this, imagine if we played this show, imagine if we got a feature of this guy and this guy. So it was very much a me and him together thing. It wasn't like, for the first year we were basically a fucking duo act pretty much.
There is something magical about having those discussions, like when you're first in the music and you're talking with like your buddy and you're just like, man, imagine 2 years from now we're gonna be on the stage singing to a crowd of like 9,000 people, like we're gonna blow up. Man.
Dude. I definitely thought that I would be living off my music by now, but I'm not complaining, bro. It's a slow. You can either take I heard a great quote by a UK rapper called Potter Paper, and he said you can either take the elevator or you can take the stairs. The elevator, you go to the top like that, like so if you have a song that pops off, but you come down just as quick. And if you take the stairs, the person that took the elevator has already been up there and fell off, and you're not even halfway yet. But when you get to the top of the stairs, the journey back down is a lot longer. So having an organic fan base and not relying on that one song that pops off to kind of build your career, I feel like that's the way to do it. It works, even if it's one extra listener a month that fucking reaches out and is like, bro, I just found your music. I think that's the way to go personally. So
I think that's the reason why so many people quit, because like I see like some like newer people come in for a little bit and they get like so many more followers than I have, like right off the jump, and then they realize that they don't know how to maintain it, and then they just leave. And like it's sad, because it's like, man, And some of them have so much creativity, they just don't know. Like, the thing about doing the slow climb like us is you see your songs get 10 plays and 2 likes, and you're like, I still want to do it. I'm having fun. Like, this is for me, you know? And like, it's part of the fun, man. I have songs that release even now that like get significantly less plays than something else I'll release, and I'll be like, whatever, man. I've seen lower.
Exactly, bro. I feel like it takes a while to. And I'll be honest, there was a long time where I did really care about the numbers, not really that it would validate me or like it would make me feel better about myself, but more just because I was putting in so much work, and I just felt like, come on, like, why aren't I having the success that I had like 2 months ago, 6 months ago, like, and then it would pick up. But I don't know if it's getting older or what it is, or prioritizing other things, but I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I do not give a fuck about the numbers anymore. I'm so happy I can say that, because I never thought that would be the case. So easy to kind of put your self-worth in how well a song does, or not even that deep, but just how good the song is. You base it on how many people listen to it. It's not the case at all, you know what I mean? Algorithms, X, Y, Z, there's so many determining factors. So
there are songs that I'm very passionate about that didn't get like anything, and it's like,
me too.
It's like, me too. Whatever. So like, when it comes to numbers, I find the biggest reason I care isn't for success, but it's more of like I'm one of those people that craves being accepted by other people, and I'm scared that people won't give me the time of day if I don't like have a certain status in terms of numbers.
Social proof.
Yeah, social proof. Because it's like, I'm confident in my ability. I mean, I have dips. Like, I've been trying to sing more in my songs, and the first few songs I made where I sing, I liked more than I've liked what I've been able to do recently. I think my voice is getting a little bit deeper now, even in the past like few months, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I'm glad, because I sound like a baby. But like, there's something about like, I know that I can at least produce really good, but I don't have the numbers to back it up. You know what I mean? So like, when I try to network with artists that I think like, there's a lot of people that I want to work with, not because they are bigger than me, but because I respect what they're doing. And it's a huge thing of like, God, you're not going to respond to me because I have way less followers than you, but if you just heard something I made, you would see the vision. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. And sometimes I want to be careful saying this, because nobody fucking likes people spamming songs in their Instagram DMs, but sometimes you have to just say, you have to be confident with it and say, listen, here's a song of mine. It sounds cringy, but like, I promise you'll fuck with it. I've said before, like, yo, like, let's work. Like, a good example is Got Hurted. I'm not sure if you know who that is.
Yeah, I know.
You know, yeah. So he was like one of the people that I really wanted to feature from when I was like tiny. You know what I mean? And, I would be like, yo, bro, like, if you ever want to hop on something, like, very passive messages. And then one day I made a song, I can't remember which one it was, and I was just like, this is good enough to where if he listens to it, he's gonna like it, and I know that. So I sent it to him, and I was like, can you listen to this for me, please, and let me know any feedback. I didn't want the feedback. I was being a little sneaky, basically, just showing him like, this is what I can do, kind of shit. Send him your best song. Yeah, exactly, bro. He listened to that song, and instantly, like, back in the SoundCloud Pulse days, like, the Pulse notification just came through, like, Got Hurt started following you, like, Got Hurt liked the song, and he messaged me straight away and was like, I've got an open for you. And I was just like,
oh shit,
sometimes it takes a little bit of confidence, maybe even a little bit of arrogance. If you truly are confident in even if it's just a specific song, it doesn't even have to be whole catalog. Fucking push it, bro. You know, get it out there.
One thing that I've done in the past, it's worked like most of the time, is I'll make a tweet of somebody that I think I could get a feature with, and I'll be like, I need one with this person, and then I like text my friends, I'm like, retweet this, say in the comments you need it.
Yeah. Do you remember the whole fucking vouch thing?
Yeah, vouch. Yeah, like people are doing that with you and 93, right?
Well, it's funny you say that, because 93 reached out and was like, let's make something.
Yeah.
And I made him an open and sent it to him, and he never got back to me. I don't think he ever even heard it. So
Yeah.
I think he publicly said like, but he follows me on Twitter and stuff. Like I know he. And
he's a busy person, man.
Dawn Star. Exactly. I don't take any of this shit personally, bro. I'm too old to be being like, you know, I don't care. I mainly just wanted to work with him because it was like an artist that I'd listened to long before I made music. So, and that's all my features are kind of for a reason more than just like, oh, it's a big artist. You know what I mean?
You pick people because you feel like you need to have them on a song more than it's just like, hey, I want the attention of having somebody else. Like, yeah,
and it's also like I put myself in like somebody who listens to my music. I put myself in their shoes, and I imagine like me dropping a song. Imagine if I dropped a song and it's like featuring 93 Feet of Smoke. I imagine their reaction of being like, no way. So that's why I ask.
I will say, this is something that I forgot to mention earlier, or even write down. But this was a huge moment for me personally. Is like when a smaller artist works with a bigger artist, it speaks volumes to everybody else in the scene, because they're all like, wait, I can do that. Because I remember when Skelly and you first worked together, and in my mind Skelly was 1,000 times bigger than you, and then you two made those two songs.
He still is.
Tumor, and he is. Really? Are you smaller than I think?
Bigger than me to this day, bro.
If you're smaller than I think, we're done with it. We're done with the interview.
I'm small time, bro. I had a very good year in like 2022. Yeah. And I'm back to the underground, man. I'm happy with it. But yeah, Skelly changed everything for me, bro. You know, he heard a song of mine, reached out himself, you know, messaged me.
Yeah.
And that was huge for me because, you know, I heard him on songs again way before I started making music. And Skelly was surprisingly has become one of my closest friends in this whole shit, that I forget about that. You know, I forget that once upon a time he was the big artist that reached out to me and got me all excited. Like, but yeah, he changed everything. Tumor changed everything, and he had me on a song Mercy. Mercy,
that's the name of it.
More. Yeah, bro, and
I always remember "Baby Bring the Knife Out," but I always forget the actual name of the song.
Yeah. Mercy, bro. Yeah, shout out Skelly, man. I can never say that enough. The guy really did give me a huge boost.
I remember literally texting Rob and being like, "Bro, Sendflowrs, or were you Grayfox at the time?"
I think I was Flowers.
I was like, "Bro, Flowers just got a song with Skelly," and then I was like, Rob, you need to get a song with Skelly. And Rob was like, I don't know. I don't think he'd give me the time of day. I'm like, Rob, you need a song with Skelly. And then I was like, and then like a year later, he's like, I asked Skelly for a feature and he wanted to charge me. I was like, if you asked a year ago, he wouldn't have. I fucking told you.
It's funny you say that, because there were certain people that were DMing me, like certain people that I was friends with, even saying like, can you ask Skelly to do this? And I'm like, bro. And I think I even did once. I think I even messaged Skelly and was like, my homie said he's DM'd you, like, can you read his DM about like wanting a feature or some shit? And it's so corny now I look back on it. It's so easy for me to forget, because me and Skelly are so like organically like friends, you know what I mean? So,
well, I will say, I think it speaks kind of in the same way that like you listen to Rob's music and like people want him to have a song with Skelly kind of thing, because like their styles are very similar and their voices would be so like my thing was kind of like how you said you have to send a song to somebody. I feel like if Skelly heard a Rob Star song and didn't just look at the account, they would actually like do it, because I think like that is like a great collab, genuinely. But it is kind of corny. It is corny, but like
it's not even that. It's very subjective. Like you like, obviously I was saying you do have to be confident with your music, but you can also waste your one shot essentially.
Yeah, that's true.
I, luckily for me, Skelly reached out to me, but if it was the other way around, I maybe would have. And obviously Skelly was like, send me something, and luckily for me, I must have been having a good day, and I made Tumor as an open, and
Tumor was
it over to him, and he was
banger.
super fucking happy with it. Yeah, exactly. So I remember he got it back to me the same day, and I remember saying to him like, Jesus, bro, like you work fast. And he said something like, well, when the song's this good, like it's
Oh
easy
my
to write
God.
to, and it gave me so much validation.
I
bro,
know
he said
you were
that,
reading that text in your bed with your feet up in the air, going back and forth like,
yeah. No, it's
No,
yes.
man.
Again, like not to sound like a broken record, without Skelly, I think he cut out like a year of work for me
Yeah,
to organically grow to that size. So shout out Skelly. It isn't always about numbers, but he's a fucking great person. I speak to him through text quite a lot. We're working on something now. You know, we're always got shit in the pipeline. So yeah, I'm very grateful for Skelly, and if he's watching this, a lot of the scene really look up to him, and I feel like he forgets that sometimes, that he is very respected in this music shit, and he should remember that when he's feeling, you know, otherwise.
So another song that I think, or another like collaboration that I think helped you a lot was your verse on Hey Darling. That song blew up.
It did.
Do you think that also had any effect on like your individual success?
I think it helps us both huge. And it's funny because when he sent me that open, I said to him, bro, this has got potential. Like, this is a this is a banger. And even the other day, Alex literally joked to me and said, when are we making Hey Darling part like 372 or some shit? And I was like, oh yeah, we'll do it at some point. But yeah, it did. And you know, when you go on Genius and you look at, for example, if you type in Sendflowrs lyrics, that's not the first song that comes up. I don't know why it popped off so much, but and I'm so proud of it that it's a Loveless creation as well.
Yeah,
it's Loveless production.
It's you and your boys.
Me and Alex. Exactly, bro. Exactly, and you know that means the world to me. So yeah, I love that song, and I forget it exists sometimes, but yeah, it definitely helped. It helped Loveless establish, hey, we're not emo trap rappers. We're trying to make some kind of
we're gonna make what we want.
Shit.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
I remember there was a lot of people were like, it was always iffy on the re-recording of it, because I know that you guys like released like a different version of the song.
I think
after.
Alex re-recorded his part,
I don't think you did, because your mixing sounds really similar, but I actually prefer the re-recording, but I remember a few people being upset over the original, or like the original being
I think
replaced.
it's just because it's familiarity. Familiarity,
because
isn't it? Like,
he sings so much better on the new version. It's like,
I know what you mean. I'm sure Alex would agree with me in saying that, you know, sometimes to make it like that was essentially our biggest song. And if you can't listen to your own song back without being like, I could have done that better, why not? It's our fucking song, bro. If he wants to re-record it, you know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good with me.
I mean, I re-recorded my part and like re-released and remixed and even made the beat better on the song with you and Rob, just because I was like, that song didn't even get that big, but I was listening back on it, and that was actually the second thing I had recorded in FL. So like my mixing was trash.
I remember.
And so I regret that being like the time that I got you and Rob on a song, because I'm like,
but me and Rob are still here, bro.
I know,
there's no point looking back on it. Like that, you know?
I don't know. I'm always scared to ask, because the thing is, like, you and Rob, other than features I'd paid for, you guys are by far the biggest artists I've worked with. So when I ask, I'm scared that you guys are gonna think like, oh, he's clout chasing. Like, I know that neither of you think that, but I always have that in the back of my head. Like, I don't know. I know Rob isn't like that, because I've met that motherfucker.
Exactly. Bro. And you know, we're so far past that point. Listen, I feel the same when I speak to certain people, you know, friends that I've got that are much bigger than me. Like, I've got people in my contact list that I haven't worked with, that potentially will work with, that are fucking so much bigger than any of us, bro. And I feel the same, you know what I mean? It's natural, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, me and Rob aren't selling out stadiums. We're all fucking homies. It's not that deep, you know?
Well, fuck it. I guess I'll have to make another one. I don't know what to tell you, man.
There you go. There you go, bro.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about Grayfox, because I feel like we're going a little off the route, which is fine, because I think that like this organic, like raw feeling it's nice. My God, I could have been Grayfox this entire time.
I thought you was about to say that you forgot to fucking press record.
No.
Oh my God, Crizzy, bro. Jesus Christ.
For context, everybody, we recorded for 40 minutes and the record button wasn't pressed. So
Yeah.
I've been
Professional
asking
YouTuber,
different
yeah,
questions to try to make it feel.
It's all good. It's all good. There's plenty. There's so much that we didn't get to. It's all
Yeah, yeah. We've discussed a lot of stuff in the last like thing that we didn't cover last time, so it's fine.
Exactly, bro.
So I know that you're a huge fan of Elder Scrolls, that entire series. I know you really like Skyrim. So that was the influence for Grayfox. But I'm not familiar with the lore very much. I've never really been big into those games. They're games that I've always wanted to sit down and get into, but when I was younger, I was just playing Mario. So I was wondering how that influenced your song Stormcloak.
Yeah, so it's funny because Stormcloak, this is real nerd shit right here.
I don't mind.
Stormcloak and Stormcloak. So in the world of Skyrim, right, there's two armies essentially. If you look at it like the fucking liberals and the fucking Republicans or whatever, it's literally like that. One is blue, who are the Stormcloaks.
Okay.
And they're people that have lived there. They're essentially like, if you look at it as, let's say England, right?
Yeah.
Let's say England is Skyrim. So the Stormcloaks are the English people, and let's say the Imperials are American people that have came over to England and are now trying to take over it type shit, okay? So Stormcloaks are blue, the Imperial Legion's red. So the cover art of Stormcloak is blue, and the cover art of My Song Imperial is red. So those were just two, they're kind of like similar because they're pitched down vocals, hyper poppy type shit. There's no lyrics in any of them that refer to the game.
Yeah.
It's literally just song titles. That is it.
Yeah. I will say it's kind of funny because I have a blue background and you have a reddish tint.
Yeah, it's the fucking energy sword behind me, bro. I needed to do something with the light.
Yeah.
All my LEDs. I've just moved house, so everything's packed, which is why this studio looks very boring right now. But
I was gonna say it does look like a new place.
I've literally just moved. Yeah, I have boxes of shit behind me.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And you made time to do this? Dog, we could have said a few days later, like if you wanted to get.
Nah. It's all good, bro. And I'm in the middle of changing jobs, so I had this whole week off. So it's perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you said that you quit your job, I was like, I hope this was like a planned like good thing, and not I got pissed off and beat up my manager.
No. Nah, I'll reword it slightly. I quit my job a week earlier than I was planning to, basically.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm glad that you're moving on.
Thank you, and I'm glad too, because my old job was fucking rough.
Yeah. So, do you believe that Heart Eyes? You told me in the past that is the song that held up the best. Do you think that it has the amount of recognition it deserves, or do you think that song should be even like bigger than it is?
I think it's fine how it is. I think that it works well as like a underground, more underground than I am now, like less commercial, like the mixing's not great. It's
I'm sorry, I'm having a hair crisis right now. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Oh my god.
But no, it's fine how it is, you know. I feel like if somebody wants to hear if somebody wants to hear me coming into my own, into my style, into this shit I make now, Heart Eyes is a great song to work as like the first song. You know, that's like where I kind of started developing my own individual like take on this genre.
That was when Sendflowrs was like, hey, I'm peeking my head through the door, like, hey, I might come in.
Yeah. Hi, I'm here. Yeah. For real. No. Yeah, it's I'm proud of that song. I still listen to that song sometimes. It's funny because there's certain lyrics, again, it just takes me back. Like, I said drunk. One of the lyrics is drunk in the cherry tree. The cherry tree is a local pub like in my city that's just like a fucking hood rap fucking dive. Like, and obviously unless you're from my city, you're not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking
I always
about.
I always thought about a cherry tree.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. But you know, it's it was I love Heart Eyes, and I feel like it's the start of the whole Sendflowrs thing.
Yeah, I'm glad that you had a good answer because I asked a stupid question.
Well, it wasn't a stupid question.
I asked if you think, hey, your really successful song, should it be bigger?
Yeah, no, but I understand what you mean. I think maybe not bigger in terms of numbers, but I wish more people that listen to me now know about it, because a lot of the people that haven't heard it, that really like my music, would love the song. But because it's so far down the catalog and it's not on Spotify or anything, it's easy to miss.
If you're doing a deep dive of like your progression as an artist, that is one of the most like core parts of it.
Yeah, I took a big step up.
Yeah,
type shit when
that is.
Yeah.
That and Handcuffs are the only two Grayfox songs that are like in my playlist. Like, and This Jealousy Is Gonna Kill Me.
Why We Wish.
Yeah.
Shout out Why We Wish, because Handcuffs, I maybe wouldn't have even dropped that without him fucking telling me like how much he loved it. He used to fucking listen to that song, no joke, like probably 10 times a day at one point. It was, and to have one of your very best friends kind of be like, bro, this song means more to me than like half of these huge artists on my fucking playlist, like it means a lot. So yeah, shout out Handcuffs as well. But
I was gonna say, even in the description of the song, you said Wish has been sleeping to the song on repeat and now has got handcuffs tattooed on him. That's crazy, man.
Oh, he has. He's got handcuffs and a scythe tattooed on him. I always fucking forget about that, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he has
man.
handcuffs and a scythe from Solitaire tattooed on him. Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Like I've heard that multiple people have like your tattoos on them.
They do, yeah. So I'm not gonna dox him by saying his real name.
Yeah,
but a guy called Earthquake is his fucking username right now. He has mine and Skelly's name on his fucking arm.
Oh my god.
My mum actually also has a Sendflowrs tattoo, which is crazy. So she has. So I can't really show you, but I have a tattoo right here of a tent, like a red tent. Actually, I probably can. Can I? I'm not sure if I can get this. Like, yeah. So this tattoo right here, this tent, she has the same thing, and underneath it says Sendflowrs EST 2019.
I had.
Shout out my mum.
The first tattoo I was playing, I never got a tattoo. I'm kind of scared. I'll be honest, I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Okay.
My first tattoo was, I wasn't gonna tell you because I wanted to surprise you, but I wanted like a sunflower, right? And then I wanted the like stem and the root to say send. So send and then the flower. And it's inspired from your song, I'll send you sunflowers every day of the month, you know? Because like, and sunflowers are my favorite flower. So I was like, fuck it. But yeah, I wanted to get that.
Honestly,
but...
it's honestly, bro, it's a fucking crazy feeling, and I can't even put it into words how it feels. Like there's probably like 4 people on this earth with Sendflowrs tattoos. And that is fucking insane.
That is crazy, man. It is crazy. I mean, I feel like with your music being so artistic and stuff, like it brings like artsy people into it, and like they're very expressive, so they want to express how they feel in their body. So like I think it makes sense that your music speaks to them. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that, and you know, I have most of my tattoos are like band tattoos, you know, like there's so many song lyrics I've got on me, so I get it, you know, I 100% I get it. I understand.
Is there anyone that you used to make songs with in the Grayfox era that you haven't worked with since, that you've been wanting to like get back with?
Good question. This doesn't really count because he produced Tuma, and I was Sendflowrs at that point, but I'd love to work with Yoni again, Yoni Golds. The fucking confidence that man gave me, like just when I would send him a song back on his beat, you know, he would be so like, bro, I don't think you understand like how good this is, like you've got something here, like, you know, he was super supportive. And he's like, you know, there's so many young kids in the scene, like yourself, like you're still young as fuck. I know I'm only like a few fucking years older than you in the grand scheme of things, but
dude,
you change a lot. When you go through sort of your mid-20s, like I'm 26. Me, like 3 years ago, I'm a completely different person. You change a lot. Maybe it has something to do with that frontal lobe developing. But Yoni was like the first person I worked with that wasn't just like a teenager in his bedroom. Like he's a legitimate musician. Like he has been doing this shit for a long time. So I would love to work with Yoni again. But other than that, everybody that I worked with in the Grayfox days, I've worked with again. You know, and
even Noah 2K.
So maybe Noah 2K is a weird one because he kind of quit and.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what.
No, he's still around. He's
Okay,
under the
okay.
name it's like OH like O
Yeah.
comma Summer Days. So he's under that name. It's a lot more.
Oh
like
yeah,
band
I
stuff,
know.
think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
No,
Noah
that's-
was Throb. There's a name for you.
Throb,
He's
yeah.
quit as well. He's quit as well.
Yeah.
But I texted him the other day. Literally, bro. Throb is one of my favorite people in this whole scene. I don't know if he knows how much how much love I've got for that guy. But if he's watching this, bro, like Throb is one of the most genuine, sincere, fucking amazing people I met through this, and I'm so grateful that I found those guys. So like Noah, Medium, Sean, and Throb. Those three, like, they mean the world to me, especially Sean. And I know he's watching this.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out Medium Sean. Like he's one of my best friends. We're past the music. You know, he knows everything about my personal life. Like we are like past the music scene now. Me and him are like friends for life type shit. So shout out all those guys. Shout out the collective, Paper Plate. It didn't last for that long, but yeah, that was us, man.
Yeah. This got cut off because I forgot to press the record button, but not like this, but like we shouted out Bird Bay a lot in the beginning of our first recording. So I also want to throw in there, Bird Bay, come back, please. We love you, and you have an amazing voice.
Yeah. Bird Bay, I said this previously, but just to repeat it, Bird Bay has a fucking, and I know that guy more than.
Yeah.
Me and him are closer than many people in my life and his life as well. Like, you know, he's going to be stood with me at my wedding. Like, that guy's a legitimate best friend of mine. And I know him like the back of my hand. Yeah. And I know how much he second guesses and overthinks and thinks people don't fuck with it. He's I wouldn't say insecure is the right word. He's just like not sure of himself with a lot of the stuff he does. So, but shout out to Bird Bay because he actually just took part in like a gym like circuit competition to raise money for kids with cancer. They raised £4,000.
Holy shit!
Shout out Bird Bay.
Yeah, shout out Bird Bay.
He's going through some life changes right now for the better, and I fucking love that guy. And if you want Bird Bay to come back and you're listening to this, go fucking drop him a message and tell him, because he does not know, he does not appreciate any of how good he is at this shit. He tell him what you think, man, because
he has such a unique voice, man. Like, it's so, there are songs that I make sometimes where I'm like, God, I need to ask him to get on this, and I'm like, oh, but he hasn't released in so long. Like,
but the thing is, that might be the catalyst to bring him back. Somebody reaching out and being like, yo, bro, jump on this song. You know, it's okay. He's got other shit constantly going on. He works very long weeks. He's like a fucking blue collar guy. He's always at work and shit. Like, so, but yeah, I know how much love he has for the music shit. I think he's way too hard on himself, and he knows that as well.
I always respect people that like they do so much and still find time to do music and stuff, man. Like, God, I know so many people that are like, I'm not gonna use names, but like people that are younger that are making music right now, and I'm like, I'm scared for when you graduate. Like, and because like I'm not trying to like everybody has their own like work ethic and speed to do things, but like I'm at least producing every single day. Like, I'm at least like trying to lay down tracks, and I'm like, you know, even if I get home from work late or something, I'm doing something. And I'm like, there's some people who make like one song every other week. I'm like, what are you gonna do when you don't have the time? You know, like, it's a shame because it's like so many creative minds just don't have the drive, you know.
You're right, and
like,
that's the case. That's the case across the board. It's the case with sports. It's the case, you know, somebody might be so naturally talented at like playing like football, for example, and maybe if they tried, they could get a scholarship, they could get into a crazy college, maybe even they could get in the NFL, but they'd rather just sit and smoke weed and hang out with their friends. There's nothing wrong with that. There's so much wasted talent, but you get one fucking life, bro. You get one.
You might as well spend it doing what you want.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
I was the second fastest on my track team in my first year of high school, so like that was crazy. But I had to quit because I had really bad stomach issues, and I just like, I didn't want to show up to. I'm on medication now, but I thought it was like related to anxiety because I always threw up before school and stuff just because I had really bad anxiety. But I guess I actually do have stomach problems, which is why my stomach was so upset all the time. But I had to quit doing that, and I look back on it sometimes. I'm like, God, I should have just went to the doctor sooner because I probably could have got a scholarship. Because like it was my first year of high school, and I was getting the same times as people who were in their last year, and I'm just like, I was the only. Do you know, I'm sure you know terms because you watch a lot of media, but like I was the only freshman who went to invitationals for like running and stuff. So
yeah, that's a W, bro. But listen, hindsight's 2020, and maybe if you would have put all your time into running and stuff like that, you wouldn't be the person you are now. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, you have to look at these things and be like, well, I would be very different, you know, whether it's for the better or worse. Maybe there would have been a lot of pressure on you from that. Maybe it would have fucking affected your mental health. Maybe you wouldn't have made the friends in the music scene that you would have. You wouldn't have met up with Rob and all these people. You wouldn't have these memories. So it's very easy to look back and be like, ah, fuck, I should have done that. It is what it is.
So we've been talking a lot about Grayfox and like the beginning of your music, but I want to start getting into like the transition when you got into Sendflowrs, because I do think that like you can separate qualities of both you as a person and you and your music between the two names, even if it was only for a search engine reason. So the first question I have is kind of silly, but what kind of flower would you like to be sent? You know?
I like tulips.
Tulips?
I like anything purple. My grandma
purples.
was a big purple flower woman, so anything purple, you know. I don't orchids, you know. I just like, you know, the term Sendflowrs was. Here's a little bit of lore for you. So
okay, I'm excited.
So when I lived in Spain, there was this Moroccan guy called Yaz that basically was like a family friend. My mum owned like a restaurant and stuff, so he would like help with that. And he gave me, obviously this was all cut out because we forgot to fucking record it, but he gave me a big stack of literature, a big stack of poems. It was like a handcrafted book, and there was something in Spanish that roughly translated to, I can't remember exactly, but I built on it. On the Honey album cover in the corner, there's a little poem that I wrote, which is, it goes along the lines of something like, you know, giving somebody flowers is the most humane thing you can do, you know, whether it be somebody's gave birth, whether it's somebody's died, whether somebody's got married, no matter what the context, picking something from the ground that grew on this planet and handing it to somebody else as a gift, that is like one of the purest forms of like love in a sense that you can give. So that's where the name come from. But I have this tattoo on my hand, and I had this before it. It's probably backwards to you, but it says Sendflowrs on my, it says send and flowers there.
Yeah, it's not backwards. Somehow it's not backwards.
That's where the name came from. Was the tattoo that I had on my hands, because I just chose it, and obviously I just chose to skip the E in flowers for search engine purposes. But yeah, it means a lot, the name, you know what I mean? And I even had a song called It's funny because looking back on this shit, I had a song called Sendflowrs, like normal, like Sendflowrs spelt normal. And James was like, bro, you should fucking use that as your name, your artist name. This was months and months before I did it. And I eventually took his advice. So, you know, thanks to Never Made It Home, he basically gave me this name.
Yeah, that guy has done so much for you, man. It's crazy.
He will never understand the appreciation I have for that guy, man. Honestly, it's it goes way beyond anything.
You mentioned Honey, which is really funny because I have a few questions about Honey here. So was that an idea that you had before or after the name change?
After the name change.
After?
It was when I first started working with like Jost and the producers that you always see me work with now. It was the first time. It was like the first. It might have even been the first project I put out under when I was in Loveless. I might be wrong about that. The thing about that is a guy called Casper, which I'm not sure if he's watching this, but he's a graphic designer, a proper graphic designer.
Yeah.
Like that's his fucking job. You know what I mean? And obviously, if you want to get something made by him, you have to pay X amount of money. I'm not sure if I should be fucking saying this, but he fucked with me so much, and he fucked with a vision that he was like, I'll do it for free. So he made the album cover. Bro, it was crazy. He sent me an email with like 5 different versions. He was like I'd paid for this fucking service. You know what I mean? So
like
shout out Casper.
I love.
Like, I think it's
professionalism, man. I love professionalism.
Exactly. I think his Instagram, I don't want to get this wrong, so let me just check. I'm pretty sure it's casper.visuals, but if you go on his Instagram, you'll see like the guy doesn't fuck around, you know what I mean? So he's a big, I have to shout him out for Honey. Casper.visuals is his Instagram. Shout out that guy. He made that artwork for me free of charge. Fucking sound guy. I appreciate him.
So Honey Part 1, I noticed that for a while, and I'm not sure if I was reading into it too much, but it seemed like you were kind of like a few months or even a little later than that maybe after it released, it seemed like you were kind of having second thoughts about it. I saw it like come off and on your page. You didn't really bring it up too much. Like, was it because it didn't fit the music you were making at the time, or were you disappointed in it? Like, what was your reasoning for like? I'd
say both. So when I say that I treat my music with more respect now, if there's a part of a song, now this is to an extent, because obviously you can't make everything perfect, or you never get anything done. But at the time, I had just started kind of caring about mixing. I was watching like YouTube tutorials on how to properly EQ rather than just slapping a preset on there. A lot of Honey was like before I had that transition in my mind where it was like, listen, people care a lot about this shit. I need to stop kind of rushing things. Honey was very rushed. There's a lot of songs on there that I would have loved to have spent more time on and potentially even scrapped from the album because they weren't. There's some good songs on there, like Trend Setting with Joel.
That song's like, great.
Yeah, like
the one with CJ is great.
The one with CJ.
I love the whole project, honestly. I was actually going to say this because I know that obviously like some of your views have changed because now it's public again. So like but I honestly think that yes, around that time you were moving into doing more experimental like hyperpop sounds, and that was a little more poppy, less I'm not saying it wasn't like creative, but it was a little less experimental. I would honestly say that was like more in line with some of the stuff that you ended up releasing after your hyperpop era. I would almost consider Sierra 117 like, and not in terms of theme, but like stylistically almost like a part 2, because I feel like the songs are like, you have very similar vocal work ideas going into them, and I think that like I feel like that project, I feel like you this is, I don't know how you'll take this, but I feel like you don't appreciate Honey Part 1 enough. Because I think that project is I think it was a very big part of your transition.
You're right, bro.
Do you think there'll ever be a part 2?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
At some point, 100%. And somebody that always hammers that home for me about Honey Part 1 being like, stop fucking doubting it, it's a good project, is Only Friend. Again, I know he's probably watching this, so
shout out Only Friend.
Shout out Only Friend. Again, one of the closest friends I've made from this shit, you know. Me and that guy will be in contact forever now, even if both of us stop making music. But he's big on Honey Part 1. He's big on a specific song, the I can't even remember the name, which is terrible, but the last song on the EP, the project, the album, I guess how we call it. Well, I can't remember what it's called, but it's produced by James, which is cool.
Yeah, I remember that. Does James normally produce? I'm sorry, I'm not like fully like in line with his discography.
sometimes.
I like his music a lot.
Yeah.
I just haven't done deep dives. But like,
No, of course he did. Yeah, he got into producing a couple of years ago. He's
Okay.
produced a lot of songs that me and him are on. He's a great producer, but
the title track, Honey, that's the one.
yeah, but there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, it's Only Friend loves that song, and he gets really angry at me every time I take it off or talk shit on it. So yeah, I know it's a problem that all of us have, you know, as an artist. Like, somebody's favorite song could be your least favorite. I know it's a bit of a mainstream comparison, but Juice WRLD always said he hated Lucid Dreams. I feel that so much. If I, you know, obviously nothing on the scale of Lucid Dreams, but I've had songs that I didn't like pop off, and songs that I loved get no plays. It's just part of the fucking game, man. Everybody has different tastes. It's just something you have to accept.
My Soul Lives While My Body Dies is like one of my favorite songs by you, from especially that time. I love that song.
Yeah,
so much.
I appreciate that, man.
I love your experimental but simplistic songs. Like My Soul Lives While My Body Dies. Like, it's the same flow. It's pretty short, whatever. I love Burn White, which is just the same lyrics repeated twice, and it's a progress. Like, I love I love when you do shit like that. For some reason, you make it. I would hate if a different artist did that, but I like the way that your vocals feel like you know how to create like an ambience with your voice that I feel like a lot of artists can't do. You almost use your voice like an instrumental, especially on interlude type songs like that.
You don't understand how much that means to me, because that is what I aim for. Ambience to me is so important on the right song. Obviously, there's certain, like I was talking earlier before, obviously the last recording, I don't use reverb really ever. That's a huge part of ambience, and songs like Burn White and, you know, My Soul Lives When My Body Dies, there is a lot of reverb. I don't know. Paratrooper is probably the most recent example of that. Just sometimes I think that you have to take it a step further than just slapping a one layer rap verse, you know what I mean? Even if it's a very quiet little detail in the background that nobody really notices. I think it's your job as an artist to kind of use all your tools to kind of create a sound. I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because it is definitely something that I try and aim to do.
Well, I think it's something you're really good at. I don't know. You're one of those artists where you have so many different styles, and this is kind of related to another question I have, where like it feels like under the name Sendflowrs, you almost have way more creative freedom to yourself than you did under Grayfox. And I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with all of your older work, but you're constantly trying new things, dude. I would have never thought that you would have made your last album that you made after Hard Eyes or This Jealousy's Gonna Kill Me, you know?
Yeah, of course, man. No, I appreciate that. And sometimes that is sometimes that is the cause of me removing songs from my pages and stuff, because I'm a mess. Like, if somebody hears Stormcloak on Spotify, just recommends it to them, and they're like, oh, I fucking love this, like, this guy, I can't wait to check him out, and then they click on it and they play my last album, they're gonna be like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? So it's a gift and a curse. Skelly always told me, be versatile, it's one of the best things you can do, kind of thing. But at the same time, I feel like you do owe it to your fan base to kind of give them what they kind of follow you for. It's a weird line that I'm still trying to find the balance of, but sometimes I'm happy that I've got so many genres, and I try and keep them as organized as I can. So like, I try and do like an EP and a whole style, move on. But sometimes obviously it's not that easy to do, and my discography is definitely a bit of a mess, but some people like it, some people some people
I like that it's very like that. You're one of the very few artists that I feel like I have that in common with, where like I'm always trying something different, man. And like, I respect when other people do that, because I it's nice that people find their niche, but I think creativity can help you find something in yourself that's more important than like what an algorithm says. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right, and, bro. It swings and roundabouts.
Yeah. This is kind of a switch up of a question, but do you feel as if you'd ever sign under a label or a management team, or are you gonna be independent till the end?
It's a pretty shallow answer that I have for you, bro. It depends how much. If somebody's gonna pay me enough to not work and I get to just do what I like doing and hang out with my girlfriend and stuff like that. Like, if somebody was gonna pay me enough and I didn't have to sell my fucking soul, like I didn't have to. So, for example, the closest that I ever came to signing was Alamo Records, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically a guy reached out to me, an A&R guy, and basically said, I'm not even joking, this is basically what he said. He said, can you make another song like Novocaine and send it to me when you've done it, and I'm gonna send it off to the label. And I tried so much to do that, and those songs are public. So like, one of them was Revenant, one of them was Sunroof. These are some songs that got sent to the label that they liked, but ultimately I think they wanted to turn me into a bit of a glaive. And you know what I'm saying? It was around that era where everyone was popping off.
That style too crashed and burned. It was there for a while, and then it was immediate drop.
And I knew that. And I knew it would. Yeah. And it's funny because the label talks put me off of that shit so much that after that was done, I came back and I made the Pinewood Murders, like straight after.
Yeah.
That was the first return to form after the hyperpop shit. And it was me basically making a statement like, fuck that shit, like this is what I make, this is the kind of shit I make, like I'm happy making this. Don't get me wrong, like I've dropped like Colorblind. I love making pop records, I love harmonies, I love making something sound like sweet and like nice to listen to. I love all that, but at its core, like I think no matter how hard I want to pretend to be anything else, at its core I will always be like an emo artist. And
which is
whether
fine.
A label which is fine. Whether a label wants that or not. I mean, if a label like Run for Cover fucking hit me up and was like, yo, we're gonna sign you, like they're all my favorite bands, I'd be like, fucking I'm there. So it's a bit of it. The answer, I guess, is it depends on who the label was.
My thing is like, I always post like, I would never sign to a label, it's my music. But it's like, if they let me have my own creative freedom, then it's fine. Like if they were there to take a split of my profits in exchange for promotion or something like that, that's cool. Or I pay for promotion. I'm fine with promotion, but I want to be in control of what I make. Almost. Like that's the way I look at it.
That's the problem, because if you make a song and you're really happy with it, and you send it to the label and they're like, it's not it, chief. Like it's just a bad relationship formed straight away. I'm also very
that's my main deterrent,
which would probably shoot myself in the foot. It is a big deterrent, bro. It's a huge reason why people stay independent. And don't get me wrong, if I had like 150k monthly listeners and was doing okay and could kind of live off the music, and a label hit me up and was like, we'll sign you for like $500,000, but I was kind of getting by on my independent streams, I would probably say nah. So
it's not really about the fame or the idea of it, it's the idea to be able to do what you love for a living. And if you can do that without a label, then why sign? You know?
Exactly, bro. That you summed it up perfect. So I completely agree with what you just said.
Okay, so I did kind of cover this in the other topics, but I want to do deep dives on your individual albums and projects, etc. So like individuals, The Devil's Cave, it had a lot of surprising like expertise in writing a full and cohesive story. Do you practice the creative writing outside of music? Like in terms of like writing books? Okay.
Yeah, I used to a lot. Not anymore, but yeah, I was a big poetry guy. I was a big creative writing guy in school, like English literature. The job that I wanted to get into for so long was I wanted to be an English teacher. I wanted to, but I chose getting face and hand tattoos over it, I guess, because I don't think a teacher would ever fucking, I don't know. My mum still says like you should go for it, but I don't think they'd have me type shit, you know.
I'm so 50-50 on you being a teacher. I mean, I don't personally know you like other people, but I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, oh, you're really smart. Like, you'd be a good teacher. And on the other hand, I'm like, man, if one of those kids pisses you off,
No. People see like my anger, my like whingy, I would say. I don't know what the American term is. I'm just very complainy on Twitter and stuff.
Okay.
If I've got something to say, it's mostly negative, because the positive stuff,
you don't feel like you need to.
People who know me, exactly. People who know me like in my real life, yes, they will say he's a fucking very stroppy, like, oh, Harry's in a bad mood again type shit.
Yeah.
And I know that, but I think that's just, without getting too deep into it, I think that's just a mental health thing. Everyone has their own shit. For a long time, I thought I was depressed, and I think my issues are a lot more kind of like anger issues in a way, rather than like being sad. I just get so angry over the tiniest things. You know, I'm not fucking abusive in any sense of the word. I don't have a harmful bone in my body for anyone that I care about, you know, but I'm very like, I used to do shit like I used to scratch my face like bad. I threw myself down the fucking stairs when I was younger, like, for just a very angry kid. And yeah, it hasn't got much better, but I'm a lot better with controlling it. So I feel like when I'm in a bad mood, I want to tweet. When I'm in a good mood, I don't even open I'm not even on my phone. So
you don't want Twitter to ruin your mood, so like.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And I'm in a good mood a lot. The gym helped massively with that. You know, combat sports, boxing. It's all good. It's all good for me. So, yeah.
Yeah. Before I went to therapy, I had a huge problem with pulling my hair out. Like I had to buy like a special like shampoo and conditioner that helps hair growth, because like it locked where I had bald spots if I move my hair.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Everyone struggles with their own shit, and I think, you know, being an underground independent artist like me and you know, it's so easy to tweet something that you regret very quickly after and stuff like that. You know, so
it's just, man, you have the whole world at your fingertips. Like, there's so much power in that that like people don't realize. Like, something you say, even as a joke, if somebody took that, like, man, I don't know. There's so much power about being able to speak to everybody all at once. You know what I mean? It's just
and
scary.
You know, when people say, do you know, like when celebrities say like, I'm not a role model, like, don't look up to me, like,
it's like, but people are going to.
They are, and you know, I'm no celebrity in that sense, obviously, but there is a lot of people, especially like I've had like young kids, bro, like 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds reach out to me, like, and say, bro, you know, ask for advice and stuff, and I'm like, I'm the last person to be asking for advice, you know. I'm a very like mentally unwell person in a way type shit. I don't know. It's hard because it is dangerous having the whole world at your fingertips where you can just tweet out anything, and so many tweets I'll tweet out and delete. But yeah, it's just learning how to be better with that. OnlyFriend helps me with that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, he's very good with the branding side of music and keeping it almost being like a character rather than. I mean, it has its positives and negatives. You know, like people can probably feel like they can connect with my music because I'm so personal a lot of the time. But at the same time, I wish I wasn't that personal all the time because it's a bit awkward to listen back to.
It is. This is an odd comparison, but like I feel like even Eminem like has some regrets with the way that he basically made himself his character, because now like even with this new album, I don't know if you've heard it. I don't know if you're an Eminem fan, but like
I'm like a Curtin Cole fan. I'm not, you know, his recent shit I haven't had the chance.
No, his new album's like all about how like he used to like. People always think, oh, Slim Shady's separate from Eminem, but in reality, all he's done is use Slim Shady as an excuse to say the shit that he wouldn't say himself without having a character. And I think, like, using yourself as the character, and, like, if I could go back, I would have made a character, because, like, dude, all of my music is just, like, me. And it's, like, sometimes I feel like I've been too vulnerable in songs, you know? I've rapped about some stuff, sang about some stuff that's, like, really personal, and like thank God it's only gotten like 20 plays, you know what I mean? Because like I mean I have an album that's entirely just about my childhood trauma, like shit that I really shouldn't have told people, but like
but you know, the other side of the coin of that is like, you know, if you hadn't made that album about it, like who would have. I think it's a positive thing when it comes to outlets and writing, even just having a diary. That's kind of how you can look at this music shit a lot of the time, just like a diary of shit. Like I said, Solitaire means the world to me because I can remember how I felt and what I was going through when I made it, and it's the same with anybody who makes a project about something sensitive. But yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I think it's a positive thing to get things off your chest to an extent. But a lot of people are lazy writers. A lot of people is, I pop Xanax, I want to kill myself because that's
God, I hate that shit.
That's what they think the genre is.
God, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. And I used to do that shit.
Yeah, bro, me too.
Yeah,
And,
when I first started, man, I was like, there's a song where I thought walk, like codeine was alcohol. And I like there's literally a line about me saying, I drink walk, because I always drink Fireball. And I thought it was like the same thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's an easy mistake. It's an easy mistake to make, bro. And you know, unfortunately, I would say, a lot of the times where I was writing that kind of shit, I was going through it. You know what I mean? Now I don't fuck with any of that. I don't even smoke weed anymore. Like I'm literally a sober guy. Yeah. I'm sober these days. I might smoke a joint with like my friends here and there, but
you're not gonna do it in your own time.
No, I don't. I've grown up so much, bro. These last couple of years, I feel like I'm a man finally type shit, and it's a nice feeling. I thought I would always be very scared of feeling like I wasn't a kid anymore, but I don't. I'm embracing it, and it's the next chapter of life, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in it. I'm embracing it. I know I'm only 26. I'm speaking like I'm a 45-year-old, but you know, there's a lot of shit going on.
I feel like you're an old soul, though. Like, I feel like you were born to tell your tales. You know what I mean? Like, that's that's why I think, like, maybe you being an English teacher would be a good thing. Because, like, I think about it. My English teacher, like, he was really good at, like, working what we learned in class to his own, like, personal stories of him growing. Like, when we read The Catcher in the Rye, like, he was talking about himself in the past. And I'm like, I couldn't even imagine you being, like, Holden Caulfield. Which, that's my favorite book of all time. Which I feel like is kind of a basic bitch answer, but...
No, not at all, bro. That's a very good answer.
So good. I'm sorry, we've gotten off the rails.
No, don't worry, bro.
So, for The Devil's Cave, did you write the music lyrics before the script, or was the script done before you wrote the music, or was it a song-by-song basis?
I kind of wrote the outline of it. So I wrote the first song, the news reporter thing that you hear, that's Medium Sean, that was written before any of the songs. That was like, I reached out to Sean, I said, I know you'd kill it at this fucking voice acting shit, like, here's what I wrote. And he actually changed it a little bit to help me more, to even more sound like a news anchor. So he really helped shape that kind of, that first, you know, the initial news report. I knew I wanted, so there's a game, you might even be aware of it, called Iron Lung. Do you know what that is?
Iron Lung? Yeah. That's Markiplier. Markiplier's making a movie about it, right? Pretty sure, Markiplier, yes, he's writing the script for a movie based on Iron Lung.
Ah, that's interesting. I did it first, Markiplier. I'd take that L, bitch.
Yeah.
But, it was influenced by Iron Lung. It was I obviously, a lot of my stuff, like, as I'm sure we'll come to with some of the other projects, they have a lot of like horror influence, and not like gory, like not always gory, but just suspense and kind of a dark sound. Not dark like I want to kill myself, but actual twist.
You have a fucked up mind.
Shit. Yeah, I guess.
Bro,
so.
No, I was just listening to Bad Luck one day, and I'm like, is he singing about breaking into a woman's house and killing her? I was like I listened to that song so many times, and then out of nowhere, I'm just like, what the fuck am I listening to?
I know.
It made me like the song a lot more. I'll say that much.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's funny because that song, like the hook has. It's just the verse that tells the story.
Yeah,
the hook is very like you
the
know
hook
what I mean?
is so like, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's
man.
Listen, I don't know why my mind goes there. I feel like I'm a huge fan of like slasher films.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like. I don't mean this in like a white girl like serial killer documentary where I'm a big fan of like true crime shit. You know what I mean? As many people are. And I feel like that's just me working that into the music. But The Devil's Cave was very much like, let me use my creative writing and let me actually write a story that I know I heard on your review of the album that you said it's one of the projects that you can't really listen to like a song here and there because of the voice acting, because it's kind of part of the story, and that's kind of what I was aiming for. Yeah. So
I knew you wouldn't take offense to that. Because
no, not at all. I took it as a compliment.
That's what you're going for.
100%.
You want the people to pay attention to the story. Yeah.
Exactly, and you know, it is a proper story. That is, it starts with the news report. Nobody knows where this guy is. Like, you know, if you have any information, contact this, whatever. And then it goes into the first thing is you hear like birds tweeting, you hear outside, and then you hear the submarine plunge into the water, and then you hear the fucking voice saying, you know, we're approaching depth of 1,000 meters or whatever. And then I start fucking freaking out, basically. But yeah, it was just creative writing through and through. It was me trying to create a story. I wanted to do a concept EP, a proper concept EP for so long, and luckily for me, I have some great friends that were down to do some voice acting for it, and yeah, it turned out great. I know you can't really listen to the first, and it's basically a 3-song EP because the first song and the last song are just to open and close the story type shit. But yeah, the first song is like, it's a long way down. It's the descent. Second song is I'm here, I'm exiting the submarine, freaky shit's happening. The third song is I just got fucking clapped by some weird demon, I guess. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's open for interpretation. A lot of people say, what is this a true story, what is this based on? I'm like, that's flattering that you think it's a true story. Like,
I'm so glad that you answered the way that you did, because I literally had in here, you've stated it's not a direct telling of other stories, but did any stories, and then you said Iron Lung before I could even ask that question, so I'm like, good job.
Iron Lung, shout out Pyrocynical. He's a YouTuber that I feel like he is like the YouTube version of me as an artist. Like I can't ever explain what I mean by that, but I know that guy just has so much care for his craft, and you know, he made a video on Iron Lung, and that was the video that I watched that made me kind of make that EP. It was years later, you know, that Iron Lung video is years old, but I just wanted to do a concept EP. At first, it went through a couple of different drafts. Like, at one point, I was just going to do the kind of Pinewood Murders vibes and do it from the perspective of like the bad guy type thing. But then I was like, nah, let me do something quite realistic, and you know, a lot of people thought it was a true story. So
I think it's like, dude, the fact that you created your own story and it was so vivid that nobody could believe that you created it on your own, bro. That says a lot about like the quality of it, because everybody's just like, I don't believe that you made this. And like,
no, I you know, I appreciate it. It came out better than I could have expected. At first I was even gonna like not use myself for the voice acting, and kind of almost from a perspective of like, I'm telling the story of this guy, but like then I eventually thought, let me do it from like a first person perspective, because it's just a bit more like there's lyrics in the third song where I'm like whatever it is that I've just seen, it's like, it looks like me when I was a kid. Like just weird shit like that, you know what I mean? And I thought, if I'm telling the story as a third person, this is a super obscure reference, but if anybody's ever played any of the Call of Juarez games, those Western games, there's one of those games, the whole thing, it starts with like an old cowboy telling the story around a campfire, and then it goes into the story and you play through the story that he's telling. Cool. And in between the levels, he's like explaining, then this happened, then this happened. There was some influence taken from that as well.
No, I like, most great stories are kind of just a culmination of multiple things that you've heard, and then you're like, well, what if that character was more like this character in that setting? And
unfortunately for me though, like a week after I dropped that EP, that crazy shit with the submarine happened with those billionaires. So people were like, is this about the Titan or whatever it is? I'm like, no, bro, what the fuck do you think I am?
I didn't even think of that. That's
not the
crazy.
Same month, bro. Yeah, it's like I manifested those poor guy's death.
Goddamn. That's wild. Yeah, it's gonna be the last thing I say about the Devil's Cave, because it is taking up like a good chunk of this, and I have a lot more projects I want to talk about.
That's okay, bro.
But I was working on an album called Oceans around the time. It's out now.
Just a little heads up. That is still your Discord PM is Oceans March 24th or whatever. So you should really change that.
I thought I changed it. I literally thought I changed it yesterday. I didn't change it yesterday. I noticed it.
No.
No, okay.
It's all good. I got
It's
you,
fine.
bro.
I'll change it after. Yeah. But yeah, I was working. I was like 2 or 3 songs in, and then I heard your project. I was like, I don't mind if I have some people talk on my album. but then I sent it to a few of my friends. I got the lines back, and they were fine. And I was like, and like obviously like you're what we were going for is 2 completely different things. So like obviously it works in your case, but in my case I was like, I feel like I want, because the thing with mine was it was all more focused on the lyrics of my project and less about like the acting and like the play aesthetic. So like it would just be like 1 or 2 lines they said in the beginning of the song, and I'm like, I feel like this detracts from the story more than, like, I would rather people put the pieces together than have the story told to them. But in your case, I think it's perfect. I just like, it's interesting how like sometimes some things work for people and they don't work for others. And like I have a lot of regrets with Oceans specifically. I think that I leaned too hard into the idea of the project to actually make like decent songs for it. But like like I feel like I was more focused on telling the story than I was making good music.
Yeah. It's a fine line, for real. It's a fine line.
But I am working on a sequel to that album right now, and I think that I've found a good middle ground of like,
good.
Yeah. I think it's like it's a completely different style for me too. It's a like very slow orchestral like singing songs. Like it's so different.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It is a fine line between the narrative and the actual enjoyment of a song as
Yeah.
a song. But yeah, it's you know, if nobody listens to the songs off The Devil's Cave individually and they only listen when they're listening to the EP front to back, that is absolutely fine with me. I have no quarrels with that at all.
As long as it means something and you get your point across, like you're gonna be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't mean this as an offensive statement, because I don't know a way to say it in a way that doesn't seem offensive. But to me, and maybe I'm not getting the bigger picture, High Charity seems more like a mixtape than it is an album. Would you consider it to be a mixtape or an album? Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying I like all of the songs on it, but it's like, it doesn't feel as cohesive as the other things that you've released, especially around that time period with all the things you were putting out.
Yeah. No, you're right. High Charity was I don't know what made me make that album, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I couldn't even tell you what songs are on it. I know like Soul Eater's on it and stuff like that, but
yeah,
it was more to be honest, that's
Poker
the first
Face
time
is really
that
good.
I've ever kind of thank you. Poker Face, you're absolutely right, bro. I think that's the first time that, obviously I don't talk to anybody about this shit, so for you to call it a mixtape, I think it just kind of clicked. It is a lot more of a mixtape.
I don't think that's a bad thing though. I think mixtapes are great. No. I are you a fan of Quadeca? Do you like listen to his stuff?
No. It's not that I'm not a fan. I just don't really listen to it.
Okay, that's fair. He released a mixtape called Scrapyard, and it's gotten way better reviews than his last album. And his last album got high reviews, but like I don't know if you're into Anthony Fantano, but he gave a 9 to like his mixtape, but he gave a 7 to the album. So it's like
yeah.
So I feel like mixtapes have their place, you know, just making good music and putting it together.
They do.
That's
bro.
Yeah,
I
don't think
they do. 100%. Yeah. It's a lot more of a mixtape than an album. You're right. That's the first time I've kind of even thought about that. Yeah, it's definitely a more of a mixtape. So is Honey, to be honest. You could even argue that I haven't really dropped an album until this last one, and even that's quite a short album. So yeah, it's I think. I
think Honey works as an album. It might not tell a story, but it's all thematic. You know what I mean? There is somewhat a story there, but it's thematically together, and I think that's good enough.
You're right.
Yeah. Fair enough. So the album, or not the album, it's an EP, but a project that has been, I would think personally, you dropping it would be a controversial thing because of how different it is Care Plus. Were you scared to release that before you dropped it?
Not at all, bro.
Not at all?
I had so much fun making.
Okay.
You know what?
I was scared. I was like, maybe like I'd alienate people if I dropped this, but like I don't know.
No. Honestly, bro, like I had so much fun making that, and That's some of like my proudest songs. Like I know maybe not all of them, but the first one, I can't remember what it's fucking called, but whichever the first song is on Care Plus, that fucking you a bitch. It's such a stupid song, but it was just like I was just like, bro, it's been so long since I've just made a song for fun. Like not everything has to be this deep, artsy, like all these different elements. Like I thought, let me just fucking get a crazy beat off YouTube and let me just put some shit together. I made that whole EP within like 7 hours. James hopped on it the same day. Like it was just a little fun.
It was
project
just fun.
That I just threw out. Yeah, just fun. I couldn't even tell you what genre it is. You know what I mean?
I feel like that was around the time that you dropped that. That was when I noticed you being like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna unprivate my old songs. Fuck it. Like I've done so much. Why should I care? You know what I mean? Like put it out there."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's an important step. Like just being like, music is for fun. And like at the end of the day, you know, I'd like to make a living off it, but I'm gonna do what I want. And that was really cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, I've got both. Like, you know, you listen to Devil's Cave, then you listen to Care Plus. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying. You can tell that Devil's Cave is made with a lot more care. Care Plus, I basically just threw it out there and was like, I made these songs in a day. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, you know what I mean. It's kind of tongue in cheek. It's pretty much just a meme of an EP. But yeah, no, I think I like those songs, bro.
The thing is, and I'm like, just to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Care Plus. I do like the opening track like you. I'm not like the biggest enjoyer of it, but I do like some things that I feel like are more in line. Like I like you doing that style. I think it's just too much distortion for me, and I know like other people would love it, but like for me personally, it's whatever. But like I really like the stuff that you were doing on Rintech, where you were making like very upbeat, like flexy songs in a way, but like it's still like kind of within like your normal voice. I kind of like that like mix of it, where I like when you like stick to doing like harder, more rapish stuff. I think that's cool. I think that you're a man of many talents, so I think that like it's cool to hear you try different stuff, even if it's on a second account, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. Rentec is I need to get back on the ball with Rentec. Rentec is it's like my UK. Sendflowrs is like a global, like it's just me making the music I want to make. Rentec is like me trying to get into the UK market type shit. But yeah, I love both of those songs. There's so much unreleased.
So McTavish is such a banger, dog.
There's so many unreleased for the Rentec, and I have a couple of songs that will definitely come out. One of them was mixed by Only Friend. He fucking loves it. It will come out at some point. I got clips for a music video. I want to treat Rentec as label and commercial as I can. I want every song that I drop on there to have a big run up with fucking content behind it, music videos, you know what I mean? So
it's kind of like it's like a second run. You're like, how would I start out if I restarted now in a different lane?
Exactly, bro.
How would I do it differently? And like
and the amount of people that don't realize that that's me is fucking the amount of people that still don't know I'm even English is fucking mental. So many people,
dude. I feel like it's so obvious in your voice, man. I don't know.
Me too, but like, I guess not, you know. And people say like, why do you sing like that if you're British? You know what I mean? It's just like the way I grew up singing to like my favorite bands, like, bro. Like it's just
a lot of British people don't sound too British when they sing. You know what I mean? Like
a lot of American people sing in a more British dialect as well. You know what I mean? So
I was about to say Ed Sheeran, but he is British.
He's about as British as you get, bro.
Yeah, that's on me. Rob, I thought he was American for the longest time because he does not sound Irish. Even his talking voice sounds so English. Not English, American.
I've told him this before, but he reminds me so much of the frontman to a band called Sea Haven. He sounds exactly the fucking same. I've sent him a song before and be like, do you not think that you sound like this? I kind of see it. It's like, no, bro, like you sound exactly the same. I used to get called I made a tweet once and I was like, you know, I used to get caught like
garden clone. Then I used
to be a garden clone, but I matured into a sewer person clone. I will never ever deny that Miles has a fucking huge influence on my music. But
I
was just kind of like, you know, coincidence.
Sewer Person, I feel like his influence on you, like a lot of people when they're influenced by Sewer Person, they get more influenced by the sound, but I think it's your lyrics and your lyrical structure that you mostly take from him. I think it's more in the writing side of things than it is the actual sound.
He is, in my opinion, he is the best writer in this whole scene, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's not that I compare myself to him or try and take things from him directly, but it makes me up my standards.
Yeah.
Of being like one of the craziest songs ever by him writing wise is a Naval song. The lyrics to that song are fucking insane, bro. Like that line, like, let this be grace for the tainted ones that no one could love but my open arms. Like, some of the lyrics in that song, I'm just like, bro, are you fucking alright? Like, how are you writing some of this shit? You know what I mean? And it definitely made me raise my standards, because for a long time the lyrics was almost the laziest part. I'd put so much energy into the delivery of these vocals, but they'd be shit writing. And yeah, I'd say out of everything, if he had any main influence, it's definitely the lyrics. I would agree.
Have you ever heard the song "Start to Rust" by Sewer Person? It's less metaphorical than a Naval song, but that's some of my favorite lyrics by him.
Yeah, no, that is crazy as well.
Yeah, dude, he knows how to describe an emotion that you can't describe. Like, that's what I really respect about him.
My favorite artists are the ones where you can pick a line from a song and get it tattooed, and it's like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely a big influence on me, and he was part of the reason when I was going through this label shit with the hyperpop stuff. He was part of the reason that made me realize, like, this isn't what I started to make music for. Like, why am I'm making songs and I like them, why don't I just drop them? Like, I've made songs enough for an album, why don't I just drop the album? Like, he was a big change of mindset for me.
He just throws everything out, man. It's crazy. I mean, not so much anymore, but back in the day, man, every single day you look at his page and there's a new song. Like, it was... Dude,
he's his run in, like, you know, from like 2020 to like 2020, even like last year, was fucking, it will never be replicated, bro. Those albums are incredible. I know he's going down a lot more of a hip hop route now, but like, man, I wish he would drop like I mean, you know, he calls it 10 Tails. I wish he'd drop another album like Swamp or In Our DNA was crazy to me as well.
Man, my main problem with him now is, like, every time he announces a project, the singles for it are like the best songs on the project. So I get so excited, and then he releases the project, and I'm just like, but it's not as good as the singles, man. Like, Nesta the Night Owl is so good. I don't know if that song, man.
Yeah, bro, and Nico's mixing. He mixed the tape that they did. He mixed Miles' vocals for it, and I know some people wasn't too keen on it, but the fucking it's like the best mix I've ever heard.
It's so Owl City-esque. Like, it's so like, man, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, you're right.
So Depart for the Stars and Sierra 117, they both felt like incredibly like vulnerable projects compared to the other stuff you released. Even with the metaphors sprinkled without, it's not hard to tell that those are some feelings that you have. And I was wondering if you had any form of anxiety releasing something that's like close to your own personal feelings and like kind of taking off the mask.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Sierra 117 is I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's one of my strongest projects.
That's my favorite by you. I think Depart for the Stars is my favorite in terms of like artistic ability, but just listening to, man, it's...
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's a lot of love went into that. It was shortly after Sleepwater died that I wrote that song for the Angels or whatever. And that's probably one of the most vulnerable songs, because I spoke about like a good friend of mine that had killed himself and shit. Like, not that Sleepwater did, that's a completely different situation. But yeah, it's not often that I get too personal in these songs. But a song for the Angels is very much like just me saying, like, you know, life is short, so
might as well
stay happy, I guess.
Fuck. What is the okay? It's the song where you talk about you've seen your mom in your like her hospital bed. Like you.
Yeah.
Like, that song.
Maybe Just Breathe. It's easy as that. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Maybe,
That song is. That song is. It was released at a different timestamp than I thought it was. I was looking at the wrong part of
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That song.
Yeah. That is.
God, dude.
Yeah. That whole Star Killer EP is very like. I was kind of going through some substance shit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like I was sipping lean too much, and I was a bit of a fucking mess. So
yeah.
That's like a very from the heart. Like Just Breathe. It's as easy as that, and maybe
that
it's
is,
not that bad. We're very like.
That's one of my favorite songs.
To the listener. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That.
Yeah.
The first half, I was like, okay, this is a banger, and then the second half, I was just like, oh my god, like I hope he's okay, kind of thing. Like I'm like, fuck, you know.
A lot of people, like some of the comments on that song are like, I hope you're okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the first time people have kind of done that. And after I dropped the song, reached out and be like, are you okay? And at the time, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But you know, looking back,
It's like,
I wasn't. And you know, the whole shit with my mum is a whole fucking different kettle of fish that I won't even get into. But yeah, it was a very fucked up time in my life, to be honest. But yeah, it was. I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that it came across as authentic. There's not much of me, like I mentioned earlier. I like to hide in the layers and the mix. That's
you like telling stories. So when it comes to like talking about yourself, you know, it's a rare instance where like people pick up on the fact that you're a creative. So when you're talking about something you're struggling with, people do care because they like they know that you are calling for help if you're releasing something like that, especially that forward about it. You know what I mean? Because like I'm sure a lot of your songs are very therapeutic, but they're hidden under a mask. And you know, there's not very many songs where you just straight up say like, I'm so fucking done. Like I'm everything is all at once, man.
Yeah. One of the lyrics in one of those songs, I can't remember which one it is, but it's fucking gross hearing it back now. But I said something like everybody wants to write about like doing drugs and stuff, but like, have you ever threw up in your sleep? Fucking it burns your lungs. Like, that line is so gross hearing back now, but that's the kind of shit I was fucking I was going through, bro. You know what I mean? It was real, like, I don't mean to use this word like negatively, but it was real junky shit. That's kind of where I was at in my life. You know, I wasn't on fucking heroin or anything, but I was still opiates, it's still codeine, it's still not great, you know. And I'm done with all that. You know, I haven't popped a pill, I haven't sipped lean, I haven't done anything, you know, in well over a year. I'm in a completely different kind of chapter in my life, and you know, it's not great. I know this isn't ideal, but I kind of look down on that kind of shit now, you know what I mean?
I don't think there's anything wrong with people expressing their struggles, but it's when like you know that they're doing it for attention or something like that. And I know that's like fucked up to say because people who do it for attention can cause themselves to have real issues. But it's like it's just
that's a good point. That is a good point. You know,
I've smoked weed.
You know, you gotta watch what you say, bro.
Yeah, I've smoked weed like maybe a handful of times, and I'm it's bad, but I'm glad that I get really fucking paranoid because it convinces me I never want to try any other drugs. Because when I smoke weed, dude, I start shaking and like I literally react like probably somebody on crack would. Like I don't know why, but my brain just can't handle it, man. I'm fine drinking.
If you don't react.
Yeah. It's like I'm not like all my friends have been like, I really want to try shrooms, bro. We should try shrooms together. I'm like, I will be your trip setter, but I am not.
Oh, thank God. No, shrooms is shrooms is a different story, but it's so many people. Luckily for me, I pretty much get no side effects from weed. I never have. I smoked pretty much every day of my life for like 10 years, way too long, and I don't consider myself like affected by it that much. Maybe some brain development issues that I'm not aware of. Definitely some memory loss, but I'm all good. You know what I mean? My lungs are fine. And,
you're still you.
You know. Yeah, exactly. It's but obviously lean and codeine and promethazine and Percocets, opiates. It's a whole different. You can't play around with that shit.
So the last section I have for you is these are just personal questions I want to know. So they don't really fall under a topic, but they're just things that I'm selfish and I want to know. So so your EP with Never Made It Home was taken down. Was there a reason why, or was it just that you didn't feel confident in the project?
We both kind of had songs on there that like we wasn't happy with our parts, and we took a couple of the songs down and rebranded the rest into like singles. So like
Winterfell is really good. I'm glad that you kept that one. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
And Fiat.
Yeah, no, that. Yeah. Oh, bro, Fiat. James's hook on Fiat is fucking crazy.
It's so good,
yeah,
bro.
It's we just rebranded a few of them into singles. The master on one of the songs was bad. It was like really quiet.
Yeah.
There was just a couple of issues that we wasn't happy with, so we just rebranded them as singles pretty much.
Do you think you could go back and rework them and re-release them as singles, or do you think, or you guys past that?
Potentially, yeah. No, yeah, potentially. We made that EP in person, which is special.
Oh, okay,
a lot
yeah.
Of the stuff that we made, a lot of the stuff that we made, me and him has been, you know, just like me and you would make a song, just like we Send and Open and stuff.
Yeah,
like that. That EP, he came to my house, and we made that whole EP in like one sitting. So that's probably part of the reason why we wasn't super happy with it. But yeah, I mixed everything on that EP. I mixed both of our vocals and stuff. So yeah. But no, it's I appreciate you remembering that. I always forget about that whole fucking Platform 1 EP thing.
Yeah, I didn't remember the title, but I remember that it existed. So
yeah, Platform 1. Yeah.
Me and Rob, when we were together, we made an EP, and like we planned on like separately once we like got back home and we weren't with each other, going back and re-engineering it, because like the engineering was the problem with it. But man, I'm glad that those songs never saw the light of day, because it was not good for either of our shit. Yeah. So it's great. It's crazy that you got something out of it that was like, you know, Winterfell and Fiat. Like those are both like worth release. Like those are great. So it's crazy that you guys.
Winterfell is like one of my biggest fucking songs.
Yeah, it's amazing
on SoundCloud anyway.
Yeah. So would you consider Loveless to be more of like a music collective, or is it more of like a brand, like something that like you wear, like I rep Loveless kind of thing?
I would say at this point it's just like the identity of a pocket of the scene, which is us guys, like me, Joel's only friend, you know what I'm saying? Like even like people forget like Irby's in there. We've got some of the best producers and vocalists in the whole fucking scene, and I don't mind saying that if people want to say it's cocky.
No,
or
it's
whatever.
true.
I think
it's true.
We're one of the strongest, and I've always thought that, and I think at this point we're just like, I know it sounds cliche, but we're just like a group of friends. We all work together. Like most of the songs that I put out are on Joel's beats, like Homesick beats, fucking, you know, Colorblind and stuff like that. Was like everything's just, I don't know, I feel like it represents me and my friends.
Yeah,
like Loveless, yes, it is a collective, but it's more just
friends,
a group. Yeah, I guess so. It's hard to explain.
It's like there's something special about like making a real friend, like through this, and like genuinely connecting. Like me and three of my friends right now, we have a collective type thing called Vanity, and like we mostly treat it as if like it's just four dudes making music. Like we're all just friends. Two of them are moving. Danny and Teddy are both moving like close to me. Like we want to like do something with this. So I'm excited. Danny's coming here for college, so like that's why he's coming. And then Teddy's like, "Fuck it, I want to be with two of my bros." So like. No. Fair enough, man. At one point, bro, the Loveless house was very, very close to being a thing. We were looking at like a barn conversion in like some place in Philly, I think, and we were all gonna fucking do it, bro. Me, Alex, a few of us, we were all gonna do it, and it never came to fruition. Probably for the best, but man, those guys, you know, those guys they mean a lot to me, man. I was in so many different collectives. Loveless, I will never leave Loveless. You know, that'll be in my fucking bio. That is
not making music anymore.
That's part of you. It's not part of your journey. It's part of you. So.
No, and that Loveless tag gets in every one of my songs. you know, the High Charity album, it's got the Loveless logo on it. Like, I've got this funny story. My girlfriend actually went, because I asked her to give me a tattoo. I wanted the word Loveless on me, but she fucked it up. So I don't know if you can see, but I just have an L right there.
Yeah.
So Loveless was supposed to go in that gap right there. But
it's cool though.
No, it didn't.
Still represents Loveless.
Yeah. Exactly, bro. Like, you know, I've been into graffiti like a long time, and you know, like when I was a bit younger and stuff, and I've threw the fucking Loveless logo up like on the streets of my fucking city, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's
you guys,
Loveless would mean a lot.
Loveless is such a nice word too. So you guys clutching that was so smart, because like, goddamn, bro.
Yeah.
There were, back in the day, there were like 3 times I was like, should I call this song Loveless? And I'm like, fuck, it's such a good name, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nah.
So this is,
we can thank Alex for that one.
This is a huge like switch up, but why do you think that like artists in the mainstream rarely face consequences when their like predatory actions come out, but like people in our scene, like even though we don't like each other, we immediately like we got Splash Gang out of there. Like it was quick. Why is it just like because of the connections, or why do you think that is? that was a bit of a, I'm sorry.
Think that no. I think in the mainstream, it is connections. It's a lot easier to get rid of a fucking underground producer than it is.
Yeah.
You know, basically, if a mainstream artist gets cancelled for something, right? Whether it's predatory or whether it's something simpler. Yes, you personally can stop listening to them. And yes, you personally can make a Twitter thread or a fucking Google Doc or whatever you want to do. But ultimately, they're still going to have a bunch of people that do not care about that stuff, that don't have social media, and they just play them on Spotify. Where with the Splash Gang situation, if we do not use his beats, he does not have a career. It's that simple.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's that simple. That's literally it. It's so much easier to get rid of him. You know, anybody with that, you know, I do not keep people like that anywhere around me. You know what I mean? Me and Splash Gang was not close. I always thought the dude was kind of fucking creepy, you know, a bit of a weirdo. So I would be very surprised. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've used Splash Gang's beats like years and years and years ago, but I'm glad that like when I'm not glad that he was a predator, but like usually like when producers get canceled, I don't have anything to worry about, just because like I'm self-produced. So like until but like, man, it does suck. Like I have so many friends that have like used his beats and like thought he was an amazing producer, and like they don't know him as a person, so like they wouldn't have seen it coming. But God, it sucks, you know, because my friend Teddy was like, I want to delete all my songs with Splash Gang. I'm like, dog, like you made so much music and you had no clue. It's such a rough thing. Like, do you delete that or not?
It is.
Because it's like
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So Splash Gang produced a couple of my things as well. So him and Josh did Tumor Part 2, and I'm not deleting that shit. Fuck him. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. Like, he's a weirdo. It doesn't hold any reflection on me or Josh. And as far as like not having to worry because he's self-produced and stuff, as long as Josh is making beats, I'm fucking good. You know what I mean? I don't need anyone else to produce for me anyway, so I'm all good with that.
I will say my favorite tweet from you that you've ever made is a bit of a thread.
Oh God.
What? It lines up with this.
Go ahead.
It's when you said, I'll just read like the first bit, because like, God, did I have so much fucking respect for you that you put this out. But you said, I barely even associate myself with any scene these days. I will always make music, but I'm sick of people being outed as fucking abusers and predators. Most of you are weirdos and get off on making people feel like shit over the internet for their personal beliefs. I came off this website and I've been infinitely happier because of it, and I think I'm gonna stay off. I love that. And like, you didn't stay off Twitter, but like, I love that you were so like, look, there are probably gonna be more people I've worked with that come out with this fucking shit. Don't associate them with me. Cause like, I respect that so much. Cause it's like, I have a few songs with people and like, they're not outed for shit, but like I'm not gonna out them because they quit because of the shit. Cause they know that like other people know.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna take down my music because it's their fucking problem. Like, that's what they do shouldn't affect me. They shouldn't be considered fucking human. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of type shit. Like, don't get me down about your shit. And like, that's, I respect you going out and saying like, hey, if I knew about shit happening, I wouldn't be involved with it. So don't fucking put my name in the conversation. Like,
exactly.
I remember when I saw you and you were on the same poster as, I think it was Lil Saku, and I was like, isn't she a fucking pedophile? And I was like, how could Flowers be working with that? And then I saw the tweet and I'm like, that makes sense. Probably just didn't fucking know.
No, it's also part of that is, well, you know, it isn't just the predators and the fucking weirdos in the scene. Part of it is the cancel culture, bro. I fucking hate it. Like, that little statement about making people feel like shit about personal beliefs. I will like, people will be like, what, so you talk to a fucking XYZ like title, like, oh, you'd have a conversation with a fucking a whatever. I will conversate with anyone as long as you're not a fucking pedophile or you're a fucking heavy racist or something actually like wrong type
I guess
shit.
I don't understand why people of different political views like make it so hard. Like, all of them, I am like, I wouldn't say I'm a Republican, but like, I'm more right-wing than like most of my friends. I get along with them perfectly fine, and they all fucking hate right-wingers, but they can get along with me because I'm not a piece of fucking shit. Like, that's like a difference in opinions. Whatever.
I would agree. I would agree. I would say these days I'm more right-wing than left. I never thought I would say that. You know, maybe it's a conversation for a whole different time, but I feel like as you grow up, unfortunately, you realize the world isn't sunshine and rainbows, and things that people don't want to hear need to be said sometimes, and people shouldn't be fucking cancelled and lose their whole career over their opinion, in my opinion.
Especially shit you said like when you were a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
but again, nobody could ever, like, I fucking challenge any of you listening to this, bro, and I've never deleted a single tweet. Nobody can find me on Twitter being a fucking freak weirdo. Nobody can ever catch me like being weird to a random girl and trying to and acting like a creep. Nobody can catch me fucking being racist. Nobody can catch me being homophobic. Like, I'm not these things. I never have been these things. I find it ridiculous when people are like, oh, that was me. Like, I understand you shouldn't be held accountable for things that you said when you're a fucking 12-year-old. That's different. But like, if somebody gets cancelled for something a couple of years ago and they're like, yeah, that wasn't me, I'm just like, fuck off, bro. You know what I mean? I can't be arsed with it. So
when it comes to like political divide, I will always be pretty left-wing when it comes to like social values. Like, I'm accepting of anybody, like, no matter who you are, like trans, whatever. I don't care. Like, I will base somebody off their person. It's more with like the business side of things where I'm right-wing, where I'm like, yeah, you have to be a little cutthroat. Yeah, you got to piss some people off to make your own way. Like, that's just, if everybody tiptoed around expressing their true thoughts because of cancel culture, there is a lot of shit that wouldn't happen. I don't think Splash Gang would have been canceled if we weren't allowed to go and call him a creepy fuck. You know what I mean? If we had to tiptoe around and be like, he did some questionable things, it's like, what questionable things? But no, we're allowed to say that guy's a creepy fucking pedophile. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I guess you can't really cancel somebody for canceling somebody, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I understand, and
you can't tiptoe around heavy topics. Like, that's...
No, at the end of the day, right, I probably have some opinions that if I shared them, people would be like, I'm surprised. Like, maybe even people would think I'm a piece of shit, right? But like, for example, this is a whole fucking different thing, but one thing that really annoyed me is how, and I know people want to say it's not your place to say, so what if this person feels like this, the trend when everybody was just being like, I'm non-binary, just for the fucking trend, like people that, and they took within 2 weeks they were back to normal. Exactly, and it's like, why are you like treating your friends like shit for misgendering you and calling you like he or she when it should be they or them, when you don't even fucking care about it that much yourself. Like, there's real trans people out here that want, you know, that go through crazy shit with their family, that are fucking terrified to ever even admit to feeling that way. And then there's people like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, I'm non-binary now. And then the next week, oh, by the way, guys, I'm going by she, her now. And there's people watching this that'll be like, so fucking what, bro? It's not your choice. It's there. So what? Get over it. Completely understand. My sister is gay, right?
Yeah.
My fucking brother, like, I have people of the LGBT community, close family to me. I've got friends, homies, dear homies that are part of that community, right? But a lot of them are fucking nuts, bro. And this is when I say I'm more right wing than left, people are like, "Oh, what? So you're racist? So you're transphobic?"
No, what the fuck? What the fuck,
nobody
man?
could ever call
That's such a
me any
leap.
of those things.
That is a different conversation.
Exactly.
That's like saying
never...
I like bananas, and you're like, so you don't fucking like apples?
Like, exactly. And I will never ever let the internet scare me for being who I am. And I've said this before, if I have to be a far left fucking cancel culture activist who's constantly like, what, you can't say that, you can't say that, if I have to be that person for you to listen to my music, then don't listen to my music. Calm, see you later. I do not care, bro. Like, I'm a grown-ass man these days. I know it, you know, I've got trans homies, and if somebody's doing it for a fucking trend, I've got trans homies that hate trans people more than fucking anyone because of the sheer amount of 10 years ago it was a different thing. And I know I shouldn't speak on it because I'm not trans or whatever, but I know it must piss those guys off more than it pisses me off. You know what I mean? I have no stake in the fucking matter, but you know,
you can tell who genuinely feels a way about their identity by the way that they react if you accidentally misgender them. I grew up in a very rural area. Like, it is all white straight people, like that is it. And like Cherry Rizla, they were the first person that I met that was transgender. I knew them before they had decided to transition. I accidentally dead named them because I didn't even realize that like they had transitioned. So the way they reacted was, hey, just to clarify, this is how I identify, like, please be respectful. And that's
Cherry's
fine.
A great example.
If somebody flips their lid on me about like making a mistake that I had no clue about, then it's like I automatically know a week from now, like, you're not going to be putting on the same front, because a real person actually going through that understands that, like, I wouldn't say it affects more than just them, but like, it takes time to get you took this long to get comfortable with yourself. Of course it's going to take some time for people to adjust to you as well. You know what I mean? So it's like,
No, I agree. I agree, but you know, shit like that is you know, I just don't like people that get off on making others feel like shit. I hate it. There's people in my real life as well that they love telling people bad news. They love watching people get stressed and I didn't mean it. They're the worst kind of people on this planet, bro. I'm accepting of everybody, and you know, there's no title that anybody could put on me that I would believe it myself. Like, if somebody was like, what you just said on Crizzy's fucking channel, that's transphobic, I'd be like, what, you think I'm transphobic when I've got family members that are trans, bro? That I sit at Christmas dinner and have fucking dinner and tell them I love them, and shut the fuck up, bro. I don't value anyone's opinion on the internet anymore. Everyone can get fucked. If
you're looking out to like call out people for being transphobic and you're searching that out, that makes you transphobic because you want to be liked by trans people more than anybody else, when the truth is they just want treated like a normal fucking person. That's all they fucking want.
I remember, bro, the thing that done me, it was like a TikTok of a trans woman who got a pilot license, and she was like in the plane and she was making a TikTok like, I finally got my pilot's license, and people are in the comments like, oh my god, like, we love a trans woman doing, and I'm just like, you're treating her like she's a fucking child.
Just say we're proud of the woman.
Normal person.
Because it is rare. It's rare for women in general to be pilots. So say congratulations, the woman pilot.
Exactly. There's just so many things like that. You treat even like, you know, different ethnicities. You treat them like you treat them like they're incapable of doing things that other people are doing, especially trans people. It's fucking mental, bro.
Man.
And that's the shit that I hate. You know,
white people get more offended for black people than black people get over fucking anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just,
you know, that's how
it's the whole entire SJW social fucking warrior. Like, I have to
virtue signaling shit. Yeah, it's bullshit. You know, I grew up on a fucking council estate in England, bro. I've got more fucking ethnicities. I've got Somalian friends, I've got Pakistani friends, I've got Indian friends, I've got fucking Romanian friends, I've got white friends, I've got black friends. Like, you can't ever call me racist, bro. Look at my fucking friend group.
Yeah.
And none of us ever talk about race. It's you lot on Twitter that are all fucking chronically online. And that is why I hate Twitter. And that is why, bringing it back to the tweet that you just mentioned, that I did try and stay off, because it was like, it's so
I noticed
easy to
you
see
were
all the
off
shit
for
on
a while.
social media. I was off for a good few months.
I am glad you're kind of back though, because every time you tweet, it's something worth tweeting. Especially the Broncos Flash Gang tweet.
Yeah, that I just use Twitter as a joke now, but it's easy to read so much shit online and feel like that is how the world is. But then you go out and there's normal ass people that aren't like that at all. You know what I mean? Like the trans people on Twitter, like the far left, extremist, crazy, blue-haired lefters is what people would call them, right? Those lot are not a true representation of real life trans people, is what I've come to learn over these past few years. And you could say that with anything. I mean, people trying to cancel people for like the cultural appropriation shit, I don't know, maybe I'm uneducated, maybe you could call me a big fucking brutish or whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's caveman or not. I'm done with it all. I can't be arsed arguing back and forth with people. You can never find a tweet of me being a fucking creep. Nobody will ever come out and be like, my experience with Sendflowrs. I can put that on God.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody could ever cancel me for shit. And that's how you should feel. That's how you should feel. If you're a good person, what the fuck are you so worried about, bro? If I open Twitter one day and seen my experience with Sendflowrs, like, bro, there's nothing anybody could ever cancel me for, because I consider myself a decent person. I was raised by my mum correctly, bro. You know what I mean?
No, every time somebody comes out with something about me, it's usually something that, like, isn't a bad thing. It's just that's private information. Like, I wish you didn't fucking say that. You know what I mean? Like, that's like that whole thing about like that one guy like fucking posting about whatever. It's like that's not shit I should be ashamed of. It's just shit that I didn't want to share with my fucking audience.
Course,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't care. But God.
Of course, yeah. It's the whole thing, bro. But
yeah. So, what do you think that the biggest misconception about you is?
That's a good question. Biggest misconception. Probably that I'm a very negative person. Obviously, I've gone over my anger issues and stuff, which are definitely real. But I'm a very positive person in general, bro. I'm quite a laid back guy. Like, I know I get angry and tweet things, but a lot of people seem to think that I'm some like fucking, for lack of better words, like some sort of thug or some shit. I assure you I'm not a confrontational person, but I'm a very passionate person, and sometimes that comes through in negative ways, especially on Twitter. But yeah, I try and be as positive as I can. I'm not sat here in this room stalking and being angry at the world all the time. There aren't many conceptions about me whatsoever, just because I kind of keep myself separate a little bit.
That's true.
I don't know. I would be interested to hear what people think of me, and then I could answer that question.
What I'm realizing is that you're just a big softie, and what I always I didn't think you were brutish, but I thought you would be like more aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that you would be a little angrier, and like, you said that you have problems with your anger, but I was like, I don't know. I'm always scared that
I'm good, bro.
I feel like we've only talked in a voice call maybe once or twice before, and like, I just like in most of those times I was quiet. So like getting you in the call, I was kind of scared. I was like, what if he's just so shut down and like shut out and doesn't want to fucking conversate? You know what I mean?
No, bro. I'll talk to anybody at any point. No. I would not agree to a whole ass interview if I was like gonna give you one word fucking answers. If anything, we've probably talked too much on some of this shit, which is how it should be. So
I mean, we recorded for 40 minutes and had to cut it because I didn't record for 40 minutes.
Luckily for you though, this will be relatively easy to edit. You just have to find the bits that we want to cut out and the pauses, and everything else flowed pretty naturally, so it's all good. But a lot of people do think
I do like, forget we're recording like half the time. Like
it's all good. That's how it should be, bro, in my opinion. I'm unapologetically myself. I always will be, and if anybody has any sort of issues with that, that's fine. But you know, as long as my family and I've just got shit going on in real life that mean so much more to me than what people are saying online.
Yeah.
But fortunately for me, it's been a few years since I've had anybody kind of come at me for anything.
Yeah.
But
I've been wanting to do this for a while. But I just.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, bro. It is a little bit weird talking about myself so much. But apart from that, I love doing interviews. You know.
Yeah.
I think I got one scheduled with Mel at some point. I don't know if that will happen, but me and Mel are doing something at some point.
I love my
enjoy
maestro.
making content.
Every time I watch his streams, it like puts me off from doing my reaction streams because I'm like, I can't, like, I don't have the. That's why I don't do the streams anymore, because people are upset because they're like, when's your next stream? And I'm like, I don't know. But every time I watch Mel, I'm like, just submit your shit to him. Like he can put into words what I think so much. The only thing I will say is that, and like, no offense to like some of this community, but he does not admit when he does not like a song, and like I do. Like I've gotten some slop, and I'm like, ugh.
To be fair to Mel,
yeah.
I struggle with the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I used to go on IG Live and have people submit shit, and I struggle with the same thing. I just try, and if I haven't got anything, the thing I try and live by is that if I have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. You know what I mean?
I always try to like make it like constructive.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
of course.
That's what I try to do.
You can,
I've never told somebody like your song's shit.
No.
I did have a white person submit a song where they said the N-word though. That was an interesting one. I did not know what to do. I did not know what to do.
That's a tricky one. But you know, they say that comparison is the biggest thief of joy or whatever. So, you know, you shouldn't look at Mel's angle of reviewing songs is completely different to yours. You know.
He's just so good at it, man. I owe that fucker everything. I literally, like, the day before I started streaming, I asked Mel, I said, can we have a Discord call and can you tell me how to do it? Like, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, fine. And I was like, I hope you don't think that I'm like copying you. And he said something that I have kept to my heart since. He said, you really want to pretend like reviewing music is a unique thing. I'm like, that is so real. That is so real, man.
Yep, exactly, man.
Yeah.
Don't have it. You know, it's a struggle to do. It's easier said than done, but in anything, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people. You know, so I try not to do that. I
do find more happiness in making like videos now, though. Like that's kind of like I like making like that album breakdown that I did, and like I like doing that.
Bro,
kind
I watch
shit.
your videos. I legit watch your videos. Come up on my recommended, and I watch them. I watch the Colors EP reviews. Obviously, I watch my own album review. I watch the video that fucking Know Your Music Taste doesn't so cool, whatever it was called. Like I've watched some of your videos. You carry on, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
And Mel would say the same. You know, not everybody wants to submit a song and have like a cathartic breakdown of the elements of this. Like Mel's so good at putting things into words. Sometimes people just want to watch somebody hear their song and see a smile on their face and see how they react to it. It's that simple, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, I have just 2 more questions left, so we're pushing through.
No problem. Anybody that's still listening to this shit, bro, I'm baffled, but go ahead.
What setting do you find yourself to be the most creative in? Like, are you ever like out and about or in nature and you have something pop in your head, or do you mostly find it when you're in your room?
Not really nature. Other people's music do a lot for me, so if it's been like a week since I've been in the studio and I'm not really feeling like very motivational or motivated to do it, I'll maybe hear like a really good song and it'll get me back in the studio, or it'll like get me inspired. Nature and stuff is cool, but I don't really take inspiration from that. A big one for me is like films, like movies. And games, mainly like video games and movies.
Through our interview, I did not realize like how big of a gamer you were, bro. Like you love games.
Oh, it's everything to me, bro. It really is. I'll never ever stop. You know, I'll always make time to sit down and play a good fucking single player RPG. You know, whether it's The Witcher, Skyrim, like anything with a fucking sword and shield in it, bro. I'm there.
Give me it.
I'm putting 2K hours into it.
Yeah, man. And as my final question, what sound do you wish to try moving forward?
I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest.
You're just gonna do
Right,
what you want.
Yeah, just gonna roll with the punches. But right now, I've been making like a lot more of my classic shit. You know, stuff that sounds like Sierra 117 and High Charity. You know what I mean? Joel's beats, like.
I think that makes sense.
Just like emo rap shit.
After dropping something so experimental, you want to make sure that it lives in its own world, and like.
Yeah, and keep it, bro. That was the first thing I dropped this year. That album. I didn't drop anything until April. Sorry, April 20th. That album came out. I went 4 months without dropping something, and there was a fucking, I don't know who it was, but there was a comment on the Tarnish video, saying this guy didn't drop shit last year. What's he doing? And it proper got to me, bro. I was like, damn, you're right. Like, I need to get back to dropping music. But this shit going on, bro. I've got a fucking baby on the way.
I mean, you have a life.
I'm very busy.
Whoa, wait, what? You have a baby?
Yeah, I've got a
I didn't know that. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, again, it goes back into saying, you know, keeping myself separate from the shit. But yeah, man, I've got a baby on the way. I have a house with my fucking girlfriend. Like,
you're maturing so much, man.
I'm a grown ass man these days.
Yeah, man.
I'm a different person than I was a few years ago. For real.
Hey. When the kid grows up, you'll have somebody to always play Halo 2 with, or Halo 3 with.
yeah. No, that's what I mean, man. It's life's changing, but for the better is what I'm starting to realize now.
Yeah, I mean, when everything happens all at once, you know, it's scary. But then you look at it individually, and you're like, this is what I want in my life. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. I'm happy with it. There was a long time where I was scared of kind of growing up, and I was like clinging on to my teenage years, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel the same, that are maybe like 23, 24, and they feel like they're getting old. It's all good, bro. Like, you will one day wake up and you'll accept it. You won't want to be that like kid that kind of fucking you know, there was so much shit that I was just clinging on to. I'm all good with it now.
This is kind of a weird question that isn't on my list, but I was talking about it. This is another personal question that I just like. I still, like, I've been graduated for I think 3 or 4 years now, and I still have dreams about being in school all the fucking time. Do you still have dreams about being in school, or like I don't think the nostalgia for school ever goes away, bro. That they are legitimately. But how many people tell you while you're at school, like, enjoy it, these are the best things of your life? And then you're like, fuck school.
Right, I hope not.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I miss school all the time. I miss the people I went to school with. You know, it's great seeing people do well.
Everybody says, like,
I miss school.
You're gonna drift from the friends you met in school, like, once you graduate, and they're always like, no, these are my boys, and then it's like, I don't see my boys anymore. You know what I mean? It's sad.
Yeah, my situation's a bit different, because obviously I moved to Spain. That was
I kind of
drifted away from my school friends, like, involuntarily. They kind of, you know what I mean, I was kind of taken away from them in a sense. So but I'm okay with it, you know what I mean. I'm growing up, bro.
Oh, you're cutting out a lot, sorry.
That's okay. It's all good.
All right, well, I am really glad that I got to have you as a guest. You were very fun to talk to. And even outside of this, I would love to talk to you more often, man. You're awesome.
Yeah, of course, bro. I'll always reply. Maybe Instagram isn't the best place. I need to give you my number or some shit, but yeah, it's I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you putting the effort in. I know that you've got to sit and fucking edit this now, so I appreciate it, bro.
I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow and get drunk tonight. But like,
all good. I'm very surprised my hotspot held up for this whole fucking thing. I hope I didn't break up too much, but
that end bit was the only time you broke up this entire recording. So
good. Yeah. Thank God for that.
Yep. So, we don't have to hang up, but I'm gonna do like the see ya, like the
of course, bro.
Okay,
of course.
So remember, everybody, to check out Harry's SoundCloud, Spotify, all that, Instagram. Go follow all that. Make him feel like the real champ he is. And if we ever do another one in the future, we'll talk about his gym life more, because that guy lives and breathes for fitness. So thank you all for watching.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody that's made it this far, seriously, fucking, I'm very surprised. Thank you. Long ass conversation. Thank you, Crizzy, for having me, bro. Any other artists want to get on this shit? Make sure you reach out to Crizzy. Don't wait for him to fucking message you. If you want to do a little
$100 per interview.
Podcast. Yeah, yeah.
$100 an hour.
I need $15 for the reference.
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, no, all good. Thank you for having me, bro. Seriously, it was nice.
You're welcome.
I haven't done one of these in a very, very long time. But yeah, if there's anything to take away from this, like, stay positive. Don't let people on the internet fucking make you feel like the internet is the whole world. Like, go outside, you'll meet people. They're very fucking normal still, even though it doesn't seem like it on Twitter. But yeah, appreciate the love. Thank.
Oh, you're cutting out now. Fuck.
For having me on, Crizzy. I appreciate it, man.
You cut out right when you.
It's cool.
See ya.
It's cool.